Hi students, welcome to your tutorial for Air on a G String by Johann Sebastian Bach. It is a beautiful piece and we will be able to hear it better when my dog stops barking. So this piece does introduce several elements that you may or may not be accustomed to. We are on the upper end of the treble staff, reaching even above it into some ledger lines. So getting acquainted with the notes up here and hopefully identifying them by name, but also taking advantage of seeing the intervals and the finger selections will help us find the notes we need. We also have simultaneously a lot of contrapuntal movement going on in the left hand. So sometimes it's moving in the same direction, sometimes it's contrary motion, sometimes it's on the same note, sometimes it isn't. So just lots of finger independence going on in this song, as well as changing hand positions quite a few times. We also have some rhythmic elements. We have our dotted quarter note, eighth note. We have a tie or two, and we have some triplets at the end. So we're just going to go line by line and get acquainted with everything and make sure you're comfortable so you can practice hard. All right, so the very first line, let's just start with a rhythm tap. It's always good to just start to get the feeling of how the hands come together at the start. So we're going to count with ands our 4 beats and then come in. Notice the ties in the right hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and left and 2 and 3 and 4 and left and 2 and together and 4 and. All right, got that? So now we're going to put our right hand second finger on this high E. Top space of the treble staff is our E. We're going to be reaching up a fourth to our A, down a third to F, down another third thumb on D, and this is where we cross over to C, B, C, okay? And I think I'll go to the end of the phrase. We'll go back third finger to the B, and A, and G. So once we've made that cross over to the fourth finger, why are we doing that? Just to come right back? No, we're crossing our fourth finger over to reposition our hands so that we can make it all the way back to this G, okay? All right, so let's call out the letter names once. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and E and 2 and 3 and 4 and E is tied and 3 and 4 and E and A, F, D, C, B, C, B and 2, A, G and 2 and. All right, were you able to do that with me? Were you able to call out the names? I know your hand might be able to find them because the finger numbers are there and the distances are there, but being able to call them out with me is also really important. All right, now let's play it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, there you go. Repeat, 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 repeat. Let's look at the left hand. Left hand is starting with the thumb on C. Most of these notes should look perfectly familiar to you, all right? Just get oriented here. Which finger's on C? What finger's on B? All right, actually doing a hand position orientation isn't going to help us much because we're going to cross under to an A on the next note. Then play our second finger on G, third finger on F, second finger is going to go chromatically back up to F sharp, and then our thumb is going to land on this G, and then the second finger will play the F, leading us into the next phrase. So just keep in mind, we're going to call out the letter names, but when we play it, we have one cross, and then we have a movement in order to play our sharp. 1 and 2 and calling out and C and 2 and B and 2 and A and 2 and G and 2 and F and 2, F sharp and 2 and G and 2 and 3 and F and. All right, let's play it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and C and 2 and B and 2 and A and 2 and G and 2 and F and 2 and F sharp and 2 and G and 2 and 3 and F and. All right, repeat, 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 and then come back to the video for hands together. Here we go. What I'm also, when I can, I'm going to call out 2 finger numbers to indicate the left hand and right hand playing simultaneously. So for example, the first beat, 1 and 2, and then when we get to the, we're going to be at a 2 and 1 when we get to the end of the line. There'll be some crossing in between there, but I think it can be very helpful to just anchor yourself with which fingers on which hands are playing at the same time. All right, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and cross under and 2 and 2 and 1, 1 and 3 and 2. All right, there we go. All right, moving on to the next phrase. So now our right hand pinky is on G. That is different than where we started before. And let's look and see. We're not going to stay there for long. Your right hand is going to play this G. Then it's going to move, and your 5th finger is going to be on the E. Second finger on a B flat. Thumb on an A. Stretch your 3rd finger up a 4th to play a D. Second finger plays the C sharp. 5th finger's back up on G where it wanted to be. And then play the 4th finger, and then your 5th finger takes over the note that your 4th finger just played. All right, so let's tackle that just calling out the note names. Again, I recommend have your hand in position so that you can start miming the notes, but mostly we're just making sure we can recognize and identify these notes before we try to coordinate our hands and play them. All right, so coming in on this treble G, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and G and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. E, B flat, A, D, C sharp, G, F, F. Phew, that was a lot of movement. I think you should speak that several more times before you try to play it, okay? All right, now we're going to try to play it. I'm assuming you've paused the video and repeated that several times. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and G and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 3, 5, 4, 5. Okay, good. All right, let's look at, we still have a phrase happening there, but let's go back and figure out what's up with our left hand. So our left hand, first line, we had our cross under, we had our chromatic up and down, and now we landed on third finger on an E. And we got to do a big leap up to the D above middle C. Second finger on C sharp. And this is a weird one. Fifth finger on the A. Thumb is going to then come back to the D after. But let's just get to that fifth finger on the A. So 3, up to 1, to 2, to 5. 3, up to 1, 2, to 5. All right, do that several times. Let's do it in time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we're going to land on the D because I'll probably play that last note in the right hand again as well. Okay, so now let's try that hands together, but please make sure you have really drilled your hands separately before you try to do this at the same time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 5 and 3 and now 1 and 5. Okay, we're going to do that again. I have no idea how much of my dog barking is coming through, so I hope it's entertaining but not too distracting. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 5. All right, so now let's play from the beginning. All right, from the top, left hand thumb on C, right hand second finger on E. I'm going to actually go to the big piano so that you can see my hands a little clearer. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 That is a tricky movement, but it's really fun once you've got it. So let's continue with the third line. So we've just landed, I'm going to move this up so I don't forget to do it later. So we've just landed on this F. And let's walk it through out of time. We're going to stay there and then we're going to move that fifth finger down a third. All right, this figure is very similar to the one before. second finger on an A down to the G, then third finger up again to a C, then down to a B, then fifth finger up again to where it started, and then we're gonna land on our second finger. All right, we're just gonna go that far for now, and then we'll treat the next phrase as its own. All right, so now let's call out these note names. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and F and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, D, A, G, C, B, F, E, E, and 2 and 3 and. All right, good. Now let's try to play it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and F and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, D, A, G, C, B, F, E to 2. All right, very good. All right, so now let's look at what the left hand is doing during that period. So we started this song with our thumb on C. In the last segment, we stretched up so our thumb was on D. And now our thumb is remaining on, well, that's not true. We had to squish our fifth finger onto an A, and now we're back to the D. All right, so D, down to a C, to a B, skip to your fifth finger on G, and then my thumb isn't on C, but it wants my thumb on C, so I'm going to move my thumb down 1, so I have my 1 and then my 2, and that's going to get me set up for the last phrase. So let's call out these left-hand notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and D and 2 and C and 2 and B and 2 and G and 2 and C and 2 and B and 2 and. All right, we're going to play the left hand. Here we go, and D and 2 and C and 2 and B and 2 and G and 2 and C and 2 and B and 2 and. All right, let's put those two hands together for that phrase. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. All right. Very good. Now again, I'm assuming you're taking a lot of time with each hand before you try to put them together. All right, last phrase with the right hand. Third finger starts on F sharp, then to G. Out of time, we're just walking through, down to a C, C, D, E, E, D, D, C, B, A, B, C, C, B, A, G. All right, we're going to call the notes out, and I'm going to be counting the triplets just a tiny bit differently than they're written, just for playability. So you might notice that, teachers. So here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and F sharp, G, C, C, D, E, E, D, D, C, B, A, B, C, C, B, A, G, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. All right, let's play that right hand. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and E, D, D, C, B, A, and. All right, and then the left hand, last line, our thumb was on C, and then we had our second finger on B, so we are now crossing one more time to an A, but then our second finger is going to reach down to the F sharp, thumb's going to fill in that gap, fifth finger is going to play the D. That could also be played with fourth finger, but I'm going to follow the notations, and then back up to the G. All right, so let's just speak the left hand last line. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and A, and 2, and F sharp, 2, and G, 2, and D, 2, and G, 2, 3, 4. One more time through, playing the left hand. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, very good. Now we're going to finish with playing hands together for this last phrase. So remember, I'm going to come in with my F sharp and G. We're going to play hands together nice and slow. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. Cross 1 and 3, 5 and 4, 2, 3, 4. All right, you can play along with that. Each hand, both hands. And now I'm going to go to the big piano and play the entire song one more time through. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. There you go. Have fun.